Today's top stories at NBR: liquidator of failed construction giant prevented from managing retention fund. The Reserve Bank says the financial system is well placed to support economic recovery. Unemployment continues to defy the odds, and there's more coming right up. Kia ora and welcome to NBR Today, a wrap of the day's top business stories from the authority in New Zealand business news since 1970, nbr.co.nz. It's Wednesday, November 3rd. I'm Paul Brennan. Thanks again for joining us. A dairy-based product being developed by a Waikato startup has the potential to offer immune support against COVID-19. Ruakura Technologies has proved the concept and lodged a patent for its technology and is now seeking investors to take the business to the next level. In collaboration with Waikato University, the Ruatech team has designed coronavirus antigens that create COVID-blocking antibodies in animal milk. Joining the NBR's Maria Slade was Ruakura Technologies' Steve Hodgkinson.
You could immunise the pregnant animal and have specific antibodies against the antigen or vaccine that you're interested in, also expressed in the milk. Now, that principle is really useful because it can be applied as a technology for producing protective antibodies.
Ruakura Technologies' Steve Hodgkinson with Maria Slade there. The liquidator of a failed local subsidiary of Australian construction giant Desmil has been prevented from managing a retention fund related to subcontractor work done on a terminated Department of Corrections project. In a decision released this week, Justice Ailsa Duffy of the High Court at Auckland decided Gareth Hall and Clive Bish would act as receivers of the retention fund, while Perth-based Dermot McVeigh could continue to act as receiver and liquidator of Desmil Construction NZ. Desmil Australia Pty put the New Zealand subsidiary into liquidation in April 2020 after Corrections ended the $198 million contract to supply prefabricated prison cells. Rocket Global founder Phil Allison is seeking $15 million of equity investment into his Cherry company, Cherry Global, in a share offer valuing the venture at $38 million. An investor flyer outlining the offer describes Cherry as a vertically integrated cherry business with best-in-class horticulture practices. The company has 120 hectares of orchards planted in Hawke's Bay and central Otago, with a further 84 hectares to be developed. Allison's previous company, Rocket Global, developed a market selling the miniature rocket apple as a packaged snack and is now controlled by private equity firms Pioneer Capital and Orions, after Allison sold out his 49.5% stake in 2017. Allison said he had invested in the cherry sector because it's virtually at the top of the tree in terms of pricing and demand for fruit globally. The Reserve Bank says the financial system is well placed to support economic recovery despite uncertainty and risks posed by COVID and higher global interest rates and inflation. In its six-monthly financial stability report, the bank said ongoing challenges from COVID were affecting many businesses and making the future hard to plan for. Stretched house prices and climate change were also presenting risks to financial stability. However, commercial banks' capital levels had risen, making them more resilient to potential losses and well positioned to meet upcoming higher capital requirements. Reserve Bank Governor Adrian Orr said the government's balance sheet had borne the brunt of supporting businesses through COVID, but commercial banks with balance sheets greatly enriched by mortgage lending would need to step up their support of business and households over the next few years. Lawyers for disputed creditors of failed property developer Property Ventures have had their client's pick as the company's replacement liquidator approved by the company's office, documents show. The long-running liquidation of Property Ventures was marked by increasing acrimony between liquidator Robert Walker and the company's former managing director Dave Henderson, generating a large volume of litigation. After Walker was controversially suspended from practice in late August, the company's registrar appointed insolvency practitioner Kevin Whitley to the vacant Property Ventures liquidation. Documents obtained by NBR show Henderson had written to the registrar about the vacancy and was advised in early September that the registrar was empowered to appoint a licensed practitioner or the official assignee to replace Walker. Henderson wrote back that he had passed on that information to Grant Smith of Canterbury Legal. Unemployment continues to defy the odds, with the unemployment rate dropping to a record equaling low of 3.4% in the 3 months to the end of September. Despite the country going into lockdown in August and Auckland staying there, unemployment fell and employment went up during the September quarter. Statistics New Zealand said last time unemployment was this low was December 2007, before the economy felt the impact of the global financial crisis. The number of unemployed people has now fallen to 98,000. The full details of those stories and more are at nbr.co.nz right now. Tomorrow at NBR, in his politics column, Brent Edwards asks, is confidence in the government's COVID-19 approach waning? While Maria Slade looks at the latest global research on how New Zealand's main trading partners view this country compared to a year ago. I'm Paul Brennan. I look forward to being with you again tomorrow from around lunchtime for the morning's NBR trending stories. Then same time, same place, right here from 5:30 again tomorrow for another NBR Today.